Does cleaning and reapplying thermal paste even matter? Does it actually make a difference? That's what I'll try to find out today. I'm using this 15-inch MacBook Pro from 2012. Inside it has a Core i7, 8GB of DDR3 RAM and an NVIDIA 650M Mac Edition GPU. So let's run some before tests. I'm doing 4 tests in total. An idle temperature test, a CPU benchmark, a GPU benchmark, and a load test while streaming 4K YouTube videos. So, starting with idle, the temperatures are already a bit high for doing, well, nothing. The CPU package sits at around 55 degrees Celsius and the cores are between 53 and 54. Not dangerous by any means, but warmer than I would expect at idle. And it suggests the cooling system isn't working as efficiently as it should or could. For the CPU test, I used GTK stress testing and set the duration to 10 minutes. During the test, the temperatures climb quickly. After about a minute, the CPU package is already around 103 degrees Celsius, with the cores being between 97 to 103. At the 5-minute mark, the package stays at around 102 degrees, and the cores hover in the 95 to 100 range, not failing, but with almost no thermal headroom. So right before the test finishes, nothing really changes. The CPU still peaks between 103 and 105, which is right at the chip's limit. Overall, the before run shows that the Mac maintains full clock speed, but only by running very hard the entire time. Next, I move on to the GPU test. I'm using the classic Heaven benchmark and tweaking the settings to fit this machine. I set the quality to medium, disable full screen, set tessellation to moderate, and run it at 1280 by 720. With those settings, the MacBook completes a full pass on the benchmark. It scores 472 points, with an average frame rate of 18.7, a minimum of 6.8 FPS, and a maximum of 36.8 FPS. During the run, the GPU sits at around 80 degrees, and the CPU helping the benchmark reaches into the high 80s and low 90s. Nothing strange here, but it shows that the system is already running warm. Finally, I test a more real-world scenario, watching YouTube. I play this 9-minute 4K video in Firefox. And yes, 4K doesn't make much sense on this display, but it loads the system consistently. During playback, the CPU package sits at around 70 to 78 degrees, and the cores are roughly in the same range. It's definitely warmer than you would expect for video playback. So, now it's time to open the MacBook and do a full restoration. After removing the case screws, I pop the cover off. This isn't terribly dusty. I then unscrew the left fan and unplug its fan cable. Then do the same for the right fan. After that, I start unplugging all the little cables connected to the logic board. There are a lot of them, and some of them are tiny SIF connectors, so I take my time because I really don't want to break anything. I remove the subwoofer and right speaker cable, the hard drive cable, the optical drive cable, the keyboard ribbon, the trackpad ribbon, the microphone cable, the sleep LED cable, the SD card reader cable, and the MagSafe DC-in cable. And then last, the biggest one, I unplug the display data cable by lifting the retaining flap and sliding it out. Once every connector is free, I remove the screws holding the logic board in place. 7 T6 Torx screws across the board and 2 longer ones securing the DC-in board. With those out, the logic board lifts up from the left side and comes out of the case. Flip it over, remove the screws from the heatsink, and moment of truth. Yeah, the thermal paste is indeed really dry and chalky. I then use isopropyl alcohol and Q-tips to remove most of the old paste. I then wipe the rest off with a microfiber cloth. So here you can clearly see the NVIDIA GPU and the Core i7. Now it's time to apply a fresh layer of thermal paste, and there we go. Okay, let's get the heatsink back on. I now just reverse all of my disassembly steps to put everything back together. Oh, and while I'm in there, I also cleaned the fans with an anti-static brush. They honestly aren't that dusty. Screws go back in, bottom cover goes on, and okay. That actually took a long time. I hope it still turns on. A quick cleanup, and then let's hit the power button. And yes, there's the chime. And we are back in OpenSUSE. Thank God. Time to see if any of this actually made a difference. So, now for the after tests. At idle, the temperatures are immediately better. The CPU package now sits around 43 to 47 degrees. That's roughly 8 to 10 degrees cooler than before. That's a pretty significant change, I think. In the CPU stress test, the temperatures aren't radically different, but they're consistently lower across the whole run. After 1 minute, the cores are in the 92 to 94 degree range instead of shooting straight past 100. At the 5-minute mark, the package is around 99 degrees, and by the end of the test, it stabilizes at around 98 degrees. So it still runs warm under full load, which is expected, but it's no longer pinned to its thermal limit the entire time. Okay, let's run the Heaven benchmark, again with the same settings. So this shows a small performance bump. The score goes from 472 to 517, and the average frame rate goes from 18.7 to 20.5. Minimum FPS improves from 6.8 to 10.2, which makes the whole run feel a bit smoother. The GPU itself also runs cooler. It stays at around 70 degrees compared to the roughly 80 degrees before. And the CPU supporting the benchmark stays in the low to mid 70s instead of climbing into the 90s, which gives the GPU more consistent performance throughout the test. For the last test, I played the same 9-minute 4K video. This time, the CPU stays at around 65 to 70 degrees instead of creeping into the high 70s. It's a small improvement, but I figure it will be noticeable in day-to-day use. Okay, so here's a quick summary of everything. In idle temperatures, we went from 55 to around 43 to 47. In the CPU stress test, we went from around 105 to around 95 to 98. In the Heaven benchmark, we saw an increase in the score from 472 to 517. The average FPS went from 18.7 to 20.5. The minimum FPS went from 6.8 to 10.2. The maximum FPS from 36.8 to 41. The CPU temperatures during Heaven went from 84 to 95 to 70 to 76. As for the GPU temps, we saw that it went from around 80 to around 70. In the YouTube playback test, it went from 70 to 78 to 65 to 70. So, every test actually show an improvement. The system runs cooler, and there's more thermal headroom, and the GPU benchmark sees a solid performance boost. So, overall, repasting doesn't magically transform this 2012 MacBook, but it definitely improves things. The temperatures are lower across the board. There's a bit more thermal headroom, and the GPU benchmark sees a nice bump in performance. I'm also looking forward to testing just how usable this system actually is in 2025, for things like video editing, thumbnail making, and general day-to-day tasks. That will give a much clearer picture of what this machine can realistically still do. But for now, this was a fun restoration, and I'm glad it worked out. That's really all I have for this video. Thanks to those of you who made it to the end, and thanks for the support, and thanks for watching. By the way, I do read all comments and try to reply to most as well, but if you really want to get in touch with me, or talk to fellow members of our small growing community, consider joining the Foci Discord server. We have a really chill and cozy vibe in there. Also, a huge thanks to Zeus and Clarkson, as well as the other members of the channel. Your support means a whole lot. Thanks. You too can become a member of the channel, if it's financially responsible for you. Right now there are 2 tiers with different perks, but in addition to these, all members are invited to join a VIP channel on the Discord. Okay, bye.